Yeah, I'd like to shout out to Death Curse Society. Well, hello to all of you, and God bless. See ya. Oh, yeah, I'm Bill Thornberry from Phantasm, the original.
Rock and roll!
Just in the middle of a dream, I was kissing Valentino by a crystal blue Italian stream. But I can't be late, 'cause then I guess I just won't get paid. These are the days when you wish your bed was already made. It's just another manic Monday. It was Sunday, 'cause that's my fun day. I don't have to Monday, it's just another manic Monday. I wish it was Sunday, 'cause that's my fun day. It's just another manic Monday.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another Monday Maniacs from Death Curse Society. Why are you laughing?
It's because I was like, that's why I broke my pose a little early there, because you weren't there yet. And all of a sudden you're like, hey!
You pulled the old Chris
Hey,
Collins
good morning.
on Monday Night Football, where he just like, now here's the guy.
Step into frame. And
what's going on, guys? I'm Red Crank. This is Zigzag. That's Colonel, and that's FaZe. How we doing, gents?
Another lovely Monday night. Watch it with the
one.
language, people.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm warning you.
For a little bit.
They can say what they want in the comments.
We got 10 more minutes. Well, I ain't talking to them.
Talking to us. Yeah, and guys, we're doing something a little bit different tonight. So, not just Facebook, not just YouTube, not just Twitch. We are also streaming on Netflix tonight. So, if you have Netflix, go ahead and check that out. And I hope you enjoy it. So, it's going to be a good time.
It's a platform I've been wanting to get on for years. It's been crazy.
The best thing about Netflix is I just think without fail every time.
We're gonna make so much money, man.
I know. I can't believe
finally
we're on
I can
Netflix.
quit my job, bro. It's awesome.
But thanks to Netflix for inviting us. All we had to do was
a mild sacrifice for this kind of entertainment.
Absolutely.
And you guys don't even want to know where I found those chaps at.
Well, we've got the pictures for them. In fact, let's show some of the pictures right now.
Yep. And that's the last time I run backwards through a cornfield.
All right. We had enough fun with that.
I was a victim of that nonsense. I watched that debacle.
You watched that? Ooh.
Yeah. I do. Come on. I saw every Tyson fight. I saw them all of them. I saw every one of them. So why not? One more time. There isn't one more time.
Okay.
I will say
at least one of our viewers is already tired of our hijinks. Lorena says, "You guys are hilarious, and you can stop now."
No.
Sorry, FaZe. Go ahead.
The real winners that night were delivery drivers, because holy shit, were people ordering pizza during the fight. Oh man, I had a good night. I didn't watch a second of it, but man, it was good for the drivers.
Good for the pizzas. Why not, man?
Yeah, I went to bed. I didn't even stay up. I was like, man, it's rigged. Why would I stay up for this?
It was like 11 for you, wasn't it?
It was midnight for
It was like midnight, I think, for us. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
The whole fucking problem though was, I get it, man. This was wrestling, okay? This was a scripted thing. This was because having seen every single Tyson fight in his life and the whole career, when he takes that step forward, man,
You know it's coming.
dude, he could have corked him about 4 times, man, and it would have been over with. So don't fucking tell him. I saw he still had the speed in the fucking workout, in the training. So come on, man.
Yeah. I think he got tired. Yeah, and I halfway agree it was scripted in a way. Maybe not
already. I mean, the $75 million, 40 went to the Paul and 20 went to Tyson, and then you know what I mean. They all got to split the rest.
Right.
But the real revelation of the whole thing is that that is fun. That is.
I'm not doing it anymore. I'm not doing it anymore.
That is fun. You shouldn't have shown that to me.
We've already been told that's enough.
Okay.
I was only planning on doing it like twice, but then everybody was like, I didn't. Okay, I'll be honest. I didn't. I think FaZe knew I was going to do something like this because we talked last night when the idea hit me. And
I forgot until you started doing it.
But I didn't tell the guys. I was just like, I got a bit. Just go with me on this. And they were like, okay. So,
yeah.
Anyway.
I'm glad you took the high road because I was expecting a low road with your bit.
No, that's good. You know, I mean,
No,
that's a good one. I'm not saying it's not. I'm just saying I was expecting something different.
the horse. So I don't know if the horse is dead yet, but he's severely wounded already.
I hope no one's watching for like the first time going, oh, great. And then like dipping out because
Fuck. Oh, nice quality production there, fellas.
way to go, guys. Can't afford anything more than dial up.
What worries me is that these fools are going to be airing NFL games.
Christmas Day, even.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I still think that, that they learned a lesson this
I hope
weekend
so.
here. And they need to
It'd be
fix
like
that.
the Friday the 13th game where they'll boost the servers and it'll be better next time.
we'll see. All right. Before we get into all the hijinks of the night, yes, Patricia, it's somebody's birthday. Happy birthday, Zigzag. Anything to say for your 75th?
Holy shit, man. Oh, God. Look at those wrinkles. No, it did occur to me because when you get to this age, I'm 53 if you didn't know. It becomes another day, man. I actually got up, I went and saw Heretic today, and then I went to work. But I did find something different this year something that I'm thankful for, something I appreciate, and that is this and what we do here, and you guys coming and joining us. That sounds stupid and corny and everything, but it was an actual true in the gut feeling I had when I was driving from the theater to work, and then looking forward to talking about this movie tonight. So, that's about it. What more do you expect? Birthdays aren't much of a big deal at this age. So, I got all the messages. I don't know what the fuck's going on with Facebook. For some reason, everyone's saying I can't post a birthday message. They can do anything else, just not a birthday message. So I don't know. Maybe I clicked something. Maybe I fat fingered something. Very possible. But I have seen all the instant messages, and thank you. God damn it. Thank you. It did make my 53-year-old ass very appreciative of all of you, and thank you. And it's another birthday. It's no cake or nothing. No, nothing like that this time. It's kind of low key, man, as it gets. And but I do appreciate. Absolutely. Thank you. You guys were all waiting for this.
No. I was off that.
I was being sincere, man. It's 100%.
Yeah, happy birthday, man. Love you like a brother. Well,
yeah.
You basically are a brother. So
it's crazy, and it's been a fucked up year. It's been a really tough, trying year and everything. So this birthday especially was kind of like who gives a fuck, But who doesn't want to feel a little special one time a year? And you guys made me do that, so thank you.
Yeah. Well, good.
Yeah.
I'm glad you got the love that you deserve, man. All right, I hope you get some more. So, and I don't mean that in a weird way. I mean, sincerely. I mean, you
Well,
can take it in a weird way if you want.
There's always New Mexico. I mean,
Yeah, I don't care. Wait, no, nothing. Wait, what are you talking about? All right, let's see who's in the room before we get really going here. We got Grizzly in here. I think that's the first one. Lorena's in here, like I mentioned. Gory Tiger, what's up, Gory? We got Grandma FaZe. We got Patricia. Paula's here. Joshua's here. What's going on? Joshua even says, "Happy birthday, Zigzag."
thank you, brother. Tear it down at Days of the Dead this coming weekend, dude.
That's
sorry we
what
can't
I was
be
going to
there.
say.
Yep. But who knows?
That is
Maybe,
this weekend.
maybe up the road here. Maybe up the road.
Feel free to ask around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, when's Curse Your Luck going on this weekend?
Where's the Death Curse Society guys?
Yeah.
Yes.
Feel free to ask around.
We'll pay handsomely for information.
BK
Give me a
is
free
here. Yeah. BK is here. He says, celebrating the wife's 50th birthday tonight because my ass has to work tomorrow. Bought Prince and Amy Winehouse albums, much whiskey and good vibes tonight,
Nice.
man. Well,
Happy
birthday.
her.
Happy birthday,
Yeah.
Bridget. Yes.
Yeah. Hopefully he made you a hell of a good meal.
Well, you know that's a foregone conclusion. Now these guys are jealous, Bridge, you see. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Dude,
They didn't
come up
get
there.
good meals today.
I come up there for my birthday now every year. Just
Yeah.
about.
That's
Yep.
true. You do.
So Luke's here. Let's see who else we got. Might be it. All right. Boom. Anyway, tonight, folks, dearly beloved, we have gathered here tonight to discuss probably the most thought-provoking movie of 2024. So, I'm anxious to get into this, but of course, before we get into all that, and I have another surprise. First, we have to thank our members. Oh, look at that!
Ooh.
You can still see FaZe. I finally moved it. We got to thank our final girls and guys: Christy, FaZe, Lorena, BD, Alex, and Robert. Our crazy Ralphs, Bell's Fancy Creations, Dr. Smiley, Raymond, and the whole damn Enchilada Pod. And of course, our camp counselors: Adam, Corey, Christy, Luke, Jimmy and Rachel, Stacy Lynn, Orlando, Chuck Schick, Dave, Patricia, Kristen, and JJ.
They're going to regret ever signing up for this.
Yes.
I know Chuck is watching, just waiting for it every time. Like, God damn it, why they got to say my name like that every time? Anyway, if you want to become a member and have your name made fun of on air every week, become a member at deathcursesociety.com. Head on over to the membership page and check out the tiers. Pick one you like, starting at only $3. And of course, thanks to our associate producer, FaZe.
Woo.
There he is.
All right. So, guys, marketing and the trailer. We've seen the trailer for this movie for probably the last 6 months. So we knew it was coming. We knew mostly what it was about. What were your thoughts prior to seeing this film? Let me start with the lapsed Catholic and birthday boy, Zigzag.
Lapsed Catholic? How about raised Catholic? I mean, non-practicing. Okay, whatever.
Non-practicing. All right.
Yeah, man. I was happy they didn't really give away too much. They kind of gave you just enough to go, okay, we got this kook, and he's going to snatch these girls, and we'll see what happens from there. But, yeah, it's quite a bit deeper than that. But this trailer didn't get blasted on us as much as Smile 2 did, thank God.
Yeah.
And I wasn't annoyed with it by the time we had to get around to seeing it,
Mhm.
So, I mean, yeah. So I was kind of like, I like Hugh Grant. Hopefully he's good at playing a weirdo. And I don't think I was disappointed.
All right. Did you have reservations about him going in? About
No.
Hugh Grant?
No, I know he's a strong actor, man. He's always been pretty good in everything he's been in, so I can't think of anything that's really terrible.
But we haven't seen him do anything like this. We've seen him do the charming rom-com roles, and we've even seen him do some like weird comedic bits.
He has such warm, friendly eyes. That's what I wanted to see. How is he going to get around that? But it really helps with this fucking movie, you know? Uh-oh.
Luke says, Hugh Grant is great at picking up hookers. No.
I question.
No, I disagree.
I do too.
I give him no stars for that.
I want to see him and Eddie Murphy have a fight to see who's the worst at picking up hookers.
Wait a minute. Was Hughes also a man?
No.
No.
I mean,
Kind of.
I know he got busted, but I mean, the thing is, he had Elizabeth Hurley at home, man.
Right. We talked about this last week.
We don't need to get into any hygiene or anything, Colonel. It's all good. You know,
We talked about this last week.
Yeah.
Please, can I get into it just one last time?
Colonel, never mind. Phase. Initial thoughts before you went to the theater to see this movie. What were you looking for?
I don't know what to think. I remember hearing that it was religious, so I'm like, all right, well, that kind of made me not so excited. Like, all right, this is probably going to be a slow burn. Hopefully, it's a good one at least. I didn't really have much else to think about it. Honestly, I didn't remember the trailers going in.
You didn't remember the trailers when you were going in? Huh. All right.
It gave you a much. The girls come to the door, and he's like, "Oh," and then you kind of get that baking a pie, and then she notices the candle, and then that kind of goes into the multi clips, and from there, without giving anything away.
Sure. Okay.
All right. Let me hit this real quick before I get to Colonel. I've got you. In the lock. Patricia says Amy's back to work tonight, so we're celebrating that.
Sorry, Craig.
Welcome back, Amy. Glad you're feeling a little better and able to take care of our friend over there. Patricia, of course. And BK says also you could get love from Michigan Avenue for $30.
Thanks, BK.
And Lorena says I'll send Ziggy $40 on PayPal.
Hey.
So he can leave a tip. Well, maybe 2 tips. Anyway.
No.
All righty, Colonel. Thoughts before going into the movie? Mostly on the trailer.
Kind of like Zag. Seen the trailer. Didn't give you too much. 2 girls show up at Hugh Grant's house. Had my reservations with Hugh Grant. Again, he's more known from the rom-coms from the 90s. Oh, God, I got to stop myself from saying this. So let me get serious. Like I said, other than the trailers, the theater, man, what marketing? Didn't see this movie really get talked about anywhere. Maybe that's just lack of watching live TV other than football. Plus, it's an A24 film. I'm like, those are really hit or miss for me. I really didn't know what I was walking into. And I think it actually helped the movie a lot for me.
All right. This was talked about 5 or 6 months ago because it premiered at Fantastic Fest. I remember that, and it got a little bit of early buzz then. But yeah, I mean, I've seen some commercials on TV, and but yeah, none of the major horror outlets are really talking about this movie, and that kind of surprises me. So, interesting. You're right. I don't remember seeing a whole lot of marketing except for the trailer in the theater. But since we go to so many horror movies, we saw it almost every time for 5-6 months.
Yeah.
So, I was kind of looking forward to this, mostly because I do like Hugh Grant. I think he's a great actor. And I like it when an actor, comic actor or whatever, steps out of their comfort zone and tries to deliver a different role. So I was really looking forward to this, and I kind of like the setup, even though the setup is fairly basic. And we'll get into the iterations of it later, maybe. But That was one thing I thought was kind of ironic about the script when they get into that. But Ziggy, you seem to have something on your mind or a bug on the ceiling.
In a weird way, I connected with this movie just based on what's going on throughout it. That's all I'll leave it at for now,
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm.
If we start getting into it, then I'll start getting into that.
Yeah, we're not getting into spoilers yet, folks. We will, and we're going to try to shove them all into the last part of the show. So
that won't be too hard because
yeah.
All
right. Well, initial thoughts coming out of the theater without spoilers. Faze, I'll start with you.
All right.
Because you had company at the theater to see it.
I had a lot of company. I had Mama Faze and Grand Mama Faze with me.
Fuck, man, there you go.
Most I've had with me to a theater since I think Deadpool 2. But yeah, that was me and 3 other friends. But yeah, first thoughts coming out of the theater, I really liked it. I was surprised, and I can't say much more without spoiling anything, honestly. It's just, I was genuinely surprised I liked it. It's easily going to be in my top 5 of the year. Those are basically my thoughts walking out of the theater. Yes.
Top 5?
So far, there's still a bunch I need to catch up on, but for right now, I think it's pretty comfortably in there, yeah. For 2024.
Wow.
For me, at least.
All right. What did Lorena and Grandma Sue like to say about it?
My mom really liked it. My grandma wasn't sure. She says in the comments it's a lot of fun.
Oh, okay. Yep,
she seemed to like it.
There we go. All right. Well, good. Tarek. All 3 generations. It was a triple phase.
Phase.
All right. Colonel, how about you? Initial thoughts walking out.
I was like, what the fuck did I see? This movie sucked. Complete ass. Why did I even pay to go see it? Oh, wait a minute. I'm joking. No, I actually thought it was a pretty good movie. I'll be honest. There's a couple parts in the third act, one in particular, I'm like, fuck, they just had to go this route. I really wish they hadn't. But they did. But it didn't really ruin the overall experience of the movie. I enjoyed it a hell of a lot more than I thought I would. I just, the character I was more in line with kind of shocked me.
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about.
Yep.
Because that kind of threw me for a loop too, a little bit in. So we'll get there.
Yes, we was. I didn't say shit. No spoilers.
Ziggy.
Walking out, I was like, okay, I concurred with those that said this movie's crank as fuck. If you're really wondering, yes, it is. But
yeah. Oh God, you got one too.
Yeah, very appropriate. But I mean, I was okay with this one, man. It's a pretty good, tense ride, and if you're a curious person like myself, you want to know what the fuck he's thinking and what is behind what he's saying. So you'll stick for the ride just for that. I wanted to know what the fuck. Oh yeah, okay. Let's hear your theory, asshole. Let's have it. That's what I was at. So
you get that
interesting movie.
You get that.
Yeah.
Yeah. By the end, I think you get an answer. Sort of.
Well, yeah. I mean, but that's what kind of also in turn might knock it down a couple of pegs for me.
It's a non-answer. We'll put it that way.
Which, regarding the subject matter of the movie, is kind of the point.
Right. All right.
And I get it. Yes, that's why it plays this way. But it's just okay. Yeah. Go ahead. We got to get going there before something gets said that shouldn't get said.
All right. Okay, let me go away from the movie for a minute. And just first off, let me say this movie does deal with religious themes in a different way.
Mhm.
So I kind of am curious. I know Ziggy was raised Catholic, but non-practicing now, so we know that much. I guess you could say I was raised in by going to a non-denominational church from time to time. Normally, the big 3 days, Christmas, Easter, and whatever the other one was. But we would go occasionally to other days too, but that was about it. It wasn't necessarily pushed on me, even though my town was, one red light or one stoplight and about 15 churches, in a town of like 1,100 people at the time. So, Colonel, how were you raised? What denomination were you raised in, or any?
Kind of none. I was raised in a house that I think my mom was raised as a standard Christian, like Stillwater Christian Church.
Okay.
But we never went to church. There's a day at Easter, my mom got a wild hair up her ass, and we went to a Christian church. And I was in Sunday school, and we had to sing a song about Abraham and his 12 sons. My genius self raised my hand after the song. Was like, "Oh, I didn't know Abraham Lincoln had 12 sons. I didn't know who the fuck Abraham was." So
there you go.
Then after that experience, I did explore a little bit when I was younger. I went to a Baptist church for a little bit, and then my dad, for some reason, got into a Pentecostal church, and I wasn't allowed to go with him after the first time when he asked me to go. Because I was laughing at him for doing all that shit, speaking in tongues and shaking their arms. I thought that was hilarious. And I spent most of my time trying to hit on the preacher's twin daughters. At 12.
So yeah,
And I haven't been in the church.
Yeah, of the church on him.
What the hell is the matter with you anyway?
No, he's well, especially in the Kentucky area.
Well, Cincinnati.
Cincinnati area?
Cincinnati, yeah. They got serious. No, not the Saints. Now, I would go to a church if I can actually get to a snake handler church just to watch that shit, because that fascinates me. I just want to seriously just sit there and watch. I'm not going to participate. It's like a documentary. I just want to watch these fuckers handle these rattlesnakes and shit. I think that would be wild. Free entertainment.
Yeah, all right. So, FaZe, how about you? If you want to, and by the way, if you don't want to talk about it, you don't have to. But
I don't mind. I just gonna try to, not talk about the religious topic too much because it's my parents gave me the freedom of choice growing up. I mean, my mom and I checked out a Lutheran church for a couple of years and it didn't really work out too much. It was pretty funny though because I was I was in 5th grade and I was the only kid that didn't know anything. Like, to kind of bring back to the Abraham thing, I thought they were talking about Abraham Lincoln at first.
Yeah.
Like, it was really funny. Like, it's just shit like that. But then, like my mom just said in the comments, we're pagans.
Okay. All right. Now, explain what that means. What is the pagan?
What is paganism?
Yeah.
Lord Almighty, my mom would be better at
just shortly. I mean, just a short,
because all we know, we learned in the Dragnet movie with Dan Aykroyd and Tom Hanks. Running around in furry chaps and goat horns. So what do we got?
It's very difficult to put in short. It's just it's very non-specific. It's quite a few religion.
Okay.
It could be quite a few different things, and your place in paganism depends on just where, I don't know. There's a huge spectrum there, I guess you could say. Like it's hard to define in short.
Okay.
We're very casual though.
I got you. All right. So not really a whole lot of religious structure among us four, I guess you could say. Except, I guess, maybe Ziggy the most. How long were you practicing?
I graduated catechism classes, in 8th grade. I confirmed, all that stuff. And, it's weird because, like, when you make your first communion and it's like a big celebration and everything, and then you do the confirmation. when and you admit that you're like a sinner and shit. It's kind of a downer, It's not like I'm thinking, hey, there's going to be presents again. They're like, oh no, you might be flogged by, the priest for, No, I mean, it's nothing like that.
Or worst.
I can only imagine what you had to say.
I didn't go there. I will say our church had a gay priest that, was kind of under wraps, but we dealt with him at the flower shop. So, I mean, they knew somehow, my parents. You know what I mean? And, but there wasn't anything.
Because he was saying, hey, will you deliver these to Bob?
To Bob.
Or something.
No, but I mean, he was that guy, he oversaw some of my grandparents' funerals and everything. He was he did his due diligence for the Lord. I don't, so.
A gay priest in the Detroit suburbs in the 80s?
No, this would have been
90s?
Mid 90s, yeah.
Okay.
Mid to
Still.
late 90s, yeah.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Interesting.
He
all right.
Nope. Stop.
Yeah. Tread lightly. Let's tread lightly on this subject.
You know what I mean? It was, I wasn't an altar boy or anything like that either. So
I was just thinking he probably loved you guys as rose bushes.
Rose bushes. It was the, it's the discounts and everything.
You're not treading very lightly.
We still hook them up for Christmas every year, that same church. So, I mean, that's where mom and dad still go. But yes, didn't mean to take down this road here. I'm just telling stories and shit.
Yeah. Well, I just wanted to find out where we all were on the religious spectrum, because
I went every Sunday and then did the full catechism run and everything. And so
until about 13 or so.
I'm pretty educated. Yeah. By the time I got done, I was 13,
13.
So, yeah. And then proceeded to go to church for another 7 years, probably.
So we have brought up Catholic from Patricia. We have visited a Jehovah's Witness church, but got kicked out from Paula.
Nice.
Lorena says pagans. Yes, we got that. Paula says raised Lutheran, but the family overall was religiously confused when I was growing up. Fair enough. Tarek only went to church for funerals and weddings. He's quite atheist. Used to be pagan. It's just nature worship, Mother Earth type stuff. Okay.
Crank, we got another guy from Colonel's dad's church checking in.
Nope.
Oh, man.
I was being saved.
There's me in the pew going, hey, girls, what's up?
And if you don't want to talk to me, how about your sister that's right next to you?
Oh, Lord. See?
Yeah. So, yeah, looks like a little bit all around. Interesting. Yeah. Okay. Because I kind of have a theory about this movie that, like, the hardcore Christians are going to hate this movie if they even watch it at all.
Which I think would probably be the wrong opinion of them to have.
Hardcore Christians don't really watch horror.
I'm fascinated by this journey, though. This is a good journey of a movie in this style. So, and then if it's nothing else, this is fucking original as fuck.
It is for such a simple setup. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about the setup and Act 1. Couple of Mormon missionaries they're visiting homes all over, biking through town. I love how it shows them, passing through the town beforehand.
Hold on.
Okay.
Opening scene.
Oh, you want to go there?
Yeah, you have to, because it kind of it misspells who they are.
I was gonna come back to that. But.
Okay. All right, well, then proceed then.
Okay.
But it starts right there. I mean, they're talking about condoms.
Yeah.
Okay. And they're
kind of, and they leads into a sex talk for a little bit, in a way.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Watching.
you watch porn? Oh no, right. I don't watch porn. But I thought they were pretty telling of who they were.
Yeah. I think it's present day, so I think Mormon girls talk about sex and talk about
curious
stuff.
and one is
teenagers.
One is kind of there already.
Well, we don't know that yet.
We don't know that, but yeah, she's ready for it.
But yeah, I love the part where they're walking through town with their bikes and like, hey, would you like to hear about? And the woman just grabs her kid off the street and walks away as fast as she can. You know, because honestly, that's how a lot of these people. That's what they deal with a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I will say, Utah should be used to it because they've had Mormons for years. But carry on.
Right, but I don't know where this took place. What?
I'm pretty sure this is in Utah. They mentioned it somewhere.
I don't remember
I can
them
swear
mentioning.
this is in
Yeah, I
Utah.
don't remember it being mentioned, but
Well,
then
the
again,
girl-
Right at the beginning,
Yeah,
I think it was
wasn't.
mentioned.
They're from Utah, the girls.
Oh shit!
So,
Maybe that's where.
yeah, because one was from Salt Lake City, and the other one's originally from Philly. Then moved.
Over there,
Right.
That whole vibe, though, that whole opening scene, kind of gave me American Werewolf in London vibes, man. When the guys are walking across the moors and everything, and just kind of buddy talking, it was cool. It was
Yeah.
neat. Yeah.
Grandma Faye's coming in for the win. Maybe it was
Boulder,
is it
Colorado.
Boulder?
Maybe.
Possibly. I don't
It
remember
was
them
snowy.
mentioning a town, but
God,
So yeah,
so busy looking at everything else, I missed that
Okay.
minute detail.
but yeah. So they have to go to Mr. Reed's house, played by Hugh Grant, and it all kind of starts to get weird from there, but not quite immediately. He's still charming when they open the door, or when he opens the door, and that whole setup is just was great for this. I thought. Colonel, jump in here. What'd you like about Act 1, basically?
Dude, no, the setup was fucking fantastic. We met our main characters. We got pretty much the basics for each person's personality and foundation.
Mhm.
I'm with Zach. I thought it was a great buddy talk. I enjoyed it. Some pretty funny moments. Just it was like I said, you have your innocent character and your cynical's really not I'll say the realist character. The two totally different point of views, but it worked for each character, and the chemistry was great between the two.
Yeah, between Sister Barnes and Sister Paxton.
Yes.
Yeah, they were great. Played by Sophie Thatcher and Chloe East, by the way. They were fantastic, pretty much all, throughout.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny because I liked one better the first time I saw this, but then liked the other one better the second time I saw this. So, because I had to go back and rewatch this last night or yesterday, just
Saw it twice.
my memory. Yeah.
Always.
I wouldn't mind seeing this one twice if I would have had to.
This one's pretty good. This one's pretty good. FaZe, what about you? Act 1.
there was a lot going on in my head in Act 1. I mean, immediately when I first saw the girls, I thought Daria and Jane from Daria. You know, if you guys are familiar, the Beavis and Butthead spinoff. I know Crank isn't, but Colonel definitely is.
Definitely is, yeah.
It's just looking at them, they look like the characters, but then the personalities not so much. But just that was the first thought in my head. Then the two Mormons. I like how they mentioned how South Park made fun of them, which at least dates it after 1999.
Yes. And I love the fact one of them was like, "Oh, listen to some of the songs; they're not bad."
Yeah,
It's pretty funny.
it also made me think of the other playwright that Matt and Trey wrote called The Book of Mormon, which is about two fucking Mormons who go to Africa, and it's this whole fucked up story. It's just crazy. But
They just did a touring production of that here in Stillwater.
No
And of course, there were protesters outside, the day of. So
oh well.
anyway,
But yeah, no, but the actual movie itself, it was good. It set up the characters well. I liked that if it was Colorado, goddamn, I love how Colorado looks. I was
Yeah.
like, fuck, this looks beautiful.
Lorena looked it up and said
Yeah.
it was Colorado.
That's true. She did confirm.
Yeah, it was a very quiet mountain town.
Very nice.
Thank you.
Yeah, just
Maybe it was in South Park.
It was
That's
off
true.
the
Jesus,
path.
we could have been in South Park. Oh my lord.
What about you, Ziggy? Act 1. What'd you like about it?
Yeah, man. I mean, she's already converted 8 people, and got them baptized. And she's like, I haven't got anybody yet. No, we're going to get you one this time. All right. Mr. Reed, he's the one.
Mm.
And they're trying to follow by the book, what they do, their pitch and everything, and how they, let's talk Jesus and what he's good for you and why he is. And, well, come on in. It's raining. It's shitty. It's snowing. It's nasty outside. That's important because, otherwise I think if it would have been a nice sunny day, they'd have been all like, you know what? We'll catch you another time.
Yep.
Roll the credits. But they're like, well, we can't come in. Is there a female here? There needs to be a female present or we can't come in and talk to you. That's just the way it is. He's like, oh yeah. I goes, how about my wife? I didn't, you said roommate, and he's all this stuff. And so they're like, oh, that'd be perfect. Great. So yeah, I'll go get her. Come on in. Let me take your coats. And off they go. And they're sitting there. It's cool though. They're on guard like the whole time. They're kind of looking around like, they're never comfortable. And I love that about this whole movie.
Right.
Never fucking relax. And you can't relax either.
Yeah, that was one thing. Like once they got in the house, the tension just was a like watching a boiling pot, and
it's
you
like
knew
Hitchcockian almost, man.
Yes, very, very Hitchcockian.
And I was like, right away, I was like, all right, who the fuck wrote this? Because I loved, and that's usually something I don't really care about. But I dig the style of this a lot. And it's like I said, once they turned the burner on and just walked away, man, and left the pot on there. And you get to stand there and watch it, and you can't walk away. And it's just, he keeps leaving the area. And it sounds like he walks away for a half hour when he goes to go, let me go get the wife. Let me go get her. Because I'm like, yeah, we really need her here. You got to go get her, and he always comes back. He's got a question and some interesting, just to give, and gets them sidetracked again. It gets them questioning. He's taking control of the whole situation. And
he pretty much immediately shows at least a formal interest in what they're coming to sell.
Right.
Because he whips out a big annotated Book of Mormon and plops it down on the table
with note marks and tabs and
like I said, annotated.
And that's what he meant by annotated, but yeah.
And they even recognize like, wow, we should be.
Not everybody has the thesaurus on their desk. Explain it.
I didn't mean to use a 50-cent word, guys. My bad.
Layman's terms.
Go ahead, Ziggy.
It's okay, man. But yeah, that's just the whole thing of it is, and they're bowing to him like wow, we should be listening to you and what you're saying about it. I bet we have some ideas we could listen to. And then, it slowly starts getting weird.
Yes. Yeah, the setup is great. Everything you guys have said is already just, yeah. The actresses are great. Hugh is very charming at first, but you can tell there's a darkness to him.
He's charming even in the dark, in the bad when he's bad. He's still got it. He never loses the. You never. It's so fucking odd.
Yeah,
it's in his eyes, isn't it, Ziggy?
Very warm, very friendly, almost Dennis Quaid'ian.
Oh boy, here we go. Here we go. I have a feeling Zigzag's going to watch Notting Hill later tonight.
Oh boy.
I remember that one. That's Julia Roberts. Somebody made me sit through that god awful thing.
I don't know. I don't think I've ever seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but great acting all the way around. I like that first room that they're sitting in too. The set design is great. And they don't get into it too much in this scene, but the way they shot this film also is very interesting because it's a lot of long takes. It's not a lot of cuts. Those dialogue scenes, the camera is like spinning around the entire room, you know, and catching everybody when it's their turn to talk. And they do this several times in the movie. And the sound even, like, in the theater was rotating around. And, you know, Hugh Grant would be talking over here if he was, or like in the full surround sound if he was on screen. But then if he was off screen, he'd just be coming from like over here, you know, in the front of you. And then over here when it kept going. And I thought that was a nice touch because I like the way they did that. This was written and directed by Scott Beck and Bryan Woods from A Quiet Place. They wrote that. They wrote Boogeyman and 65. And did they do, was it Haunt? Was that their first one?
Yeah, I'm not 100% on that.
When I saw Boogeyman, I was like, oh, okay, you know, because I really like that one a whole lot too. You know what I mean? And I was like, you get those styles you like, man, and you can just you can pick it out, you know. But I knew the way this guy tells a story, or pens it at least, and they're allowed to capture it on the film the way it's intended. I'm thinking, man, because this shit is very, very, and you know, I think the religious people, I don't know, man. I think if I was still, maybe I might have been offended a bit if I was still practicing heavily, you know, with this whole thing. But instead, I was just fascinated by the direction he was going and the shit he was saying.
Right. Now, without getting too spoilery into some of the discussions that he imposes on them. Well, first off, I guess we can talk about this. He asked them about polygamy. And this is something I learned. I see Lorena asking questions about. I think that's true, that if it is girl missionaries at your door, they can't come in unless, you know, if only a guy is present. Right. They can come in with. I think that is true.
Correct.
But
I mean,
I'm not positive. But one thing I learned from this movie is that they abandoned their at least extreme beliefs in polygamy several years ago, and don't necessarily push it as much as they used to. And they gave a very good reason for it. So I appreciated that, because I thought that was still pretty common, because wasn't there like a TLC reality show not too long ago about that?
I mean,
such a jabroni, man.
Certain sects, I'm sure, still try to practice polygamy. Because you're right. I believe there was like a reality show a few years ago. Like dudes, like, was it called like 7 Wives or 8 Wives or some shit like that? But yeah, I love the explanation for it, because that's the explanation for anything.
Sister Wives.
Yes.
From Tarek. Thank you.
Thank you, Derek. Yeah, that's how, like I said, how I say this without being spoiled earlier, defensive. Say a lot of things to become popular need adjusted over time. So say that. Nothing that stays in its original form for it to grow.
Right.
sure.
But I love those early discussions that they're having. And, you know, at first, the two girls are just kind of like going along with it, like hoping, basically, and he mentions this at one point, basically they're salespeople, you know? So, and both of those actresses both grew up in the Church of Jesus Christ and Latter-day Saints. So they grew up in this Mormon religion that they're playing to in the film, which was, I thought was interesting. I found that out I saw an interview Hugh Grant did on one of the late night shows last week. But I like those first discussions because it's not necessarily threatening. It's just, he's laying on that awkwardness, you know, in a way, or putting them in an awkward situation. Is that what you guys got, Ziggy?
Yeah, taking control, just being the one, you know what I mean, dictating where it's going.
Yeah,
and for sure, you know, and it was by design. Everything he said was to keep them off balance.
And I thought that was written really well, because then once they do start really diving into the religious aspects of it, it's already kind of laid out. Well, this guy is going to say whatever the hell he wants,
Mhm.
you know. And I thought that was a good way to do it. Where do we need to go from here? We've talked about. Do we jump into Act 2?
Well, I mean,
I guess so. I mean,
every once in a while, every couple of questions, they keep asking, "Can you get your wife?"
Right.
We really need to get her in here. And he's like, "Oh, of course, you know." And he gets up and leaves again. You
Mhm.
know,
And he mentioned, we can say this because it's in the trailer, but one of the things he says at the very beginning is, wife's making a pie, so come on in. But then Sister Barnes notices the candle that he brings out and lights in front of them is blueberry pie scented candle. And I think that's when it really clicks, like,
we need to get the fuck out of here. Yeah.
yeah. But he's got their coats in another part of the house somewhere. They
And
don't know
their
where it is.
bikes, they locked up at a bike rack, and the key is in the coats.
Right.
So they can't leave.
They have to get and they can't open the door.
By
That's
the
other
way,
thing.
it's a fucking blizzard, too.
Yep. And the storm is going crazy. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of natural and unnatural things working against them in this situation. So Ziggy, I'll let you just move on with the next point. Once they go into, I guess, maybe the next room, they ask for help to get out, but
Right. And he says, "Well," he goes, "You can leave. You know, I'm not holding you here. You know,
right. Come back here and you can meet the wife.
Yeah. The wife's back here, and she's shy. You know, she don't want to come out.
Right.
And then it's more small talk, more questions, more this back and forth about religion, and we learn that Sister, her dad, which one?
Sister Barnes' dad.
Sister Barnes' father died of Lou Gehrig's disease. And he talks about that a little bit.
Mhm.
And then it comes to a point where, you know, they're like, "Well, could you just listen at this? Just get your wife. You need to get your wife right now. And we don't feel comfortable now. This is weird now. You got to get your wife." And he's like, sure, I'll go get her. Let me ask you a question.
Yep.
And that kept over and over again. And he says, you know, "Do you really want me to go through with going through and going to get her? Or do you really think she's back there, or is she not back there?" You know, he starts saying shit like that.
Mhm.
And it's just, that kind of shit would make my hair stand up. You know what I mean? If I was in that situation, no good.
Well, yeah, of course. You know. Also, one thing I don't think we mentioned, but when he does invite them in, it felt like just a throwaway line, but it does come back to mean something. He mentions, "Oh, by the way, there's metal in the walls and ceiling.
Is that okay?
Is that okay?"
Yeah.
Yeah. They don't think anything about it, of course. You
Oh,
know.
right. Because that's what they say there. The church called us. They want us to come back. And he's like,
Right.
"Oh, right. All you got to do is head out the back door here. Right out the back, round the front. You're all set."
Yep.
And they're like, "Could you just take us to the front, please? We just want to go to the front door." And it's like, "You can just go to the back. It's that there's a time lock on the bolt, and I forgot to set it."
Yeah,
He's got
I can't reset it.
everything. He's got a goddamn excuse for.
All right. We are kind of getting into
Yeah.
some spoilery stuff here. So if you guys want to zone out, we understand.
It's probably worth it. I wouldn't be mad at you because it's a good watch.
I would prefer you. I'm going to throw that down there too. I made that too today.
nice.
Yeah.
Just to leave up. I want you guys to see this, like, knowing as little as you can, because it is a good sell. But if you want to stick around and watch the show, I appreciate that too.
Yeah, we love you.
Yeah, but yeah, once they get into that second room, we have to talk about this. So I am gonna leave the spoiler alert up. He's playing the Hollies, "The Air I Breathe," over and over,
Yeah.
and then he starts to see. Here we go. Lorena says it's a great movie. Bail if you haven't seen it. Seriously. So
There goes a couple of people. All right, it's all right.
It actually went up a little bit. Oh, there they go.
Now we're done.
No,
there they go.
it was just at 23. Now it's at 18. So
We're down to 18.
we're down 5.
Hey, to be
All
fair,
right.
people had over a week to see this movie.
Yeah,
So it's
they
not
have.
like we usually spoil it 3 days after release.
yeah, right. You know,
All right.
They have. So I understand.
and the bottom line is, I still think it'll be entertaining to you, even if we spoil it a little bit. It's still going to be cool watching the execution of what's happening.
Yeah, because these guys have got some good ideas, you know, with the way they did this, and I've liked most of the other movies I've seen that they've done. So, anyway, he brings out the board game Monopoly and starts asking the girls about it. Have you heard of this game? Yeah, of course you've heard of this game. Did you know? And telling them the history of it. And you know, this person came and sold it to the Parker Brothers Company back in 1923 or whatever. And
What was the first one called? The Colonies Trade?
No,
or something
the-
like that?
Landlord or something like that.
the landlord's game.
The Landlord's Game
Yeah.
or something
But,
like that.
but then he goes, yeah, but after he explains the history of Monopoly, he comes back in and he comes back with, but did you know in the late 1800s, there was this game called the Landlord's Game, which is basic. And he shows it off. Basically the same game, just wasn't as popular. I think it was even invented by a woman.
Yep, 30 years
I'm-
prior. Yep.
Yeah. So, and then he puts those two down, and then he lays out, you know, he's talking about iterations, and he lays out like a religious
Monopoly, like
cloth.
the debit cards or something.
Well,
never mind.
Well, hold on, but you know,
Go ahead.
first he's got to lay out, you know, the books
Yep.
that
Holy
go
Bible.
along with the game. So he
The big
equates.
three.
Yeah, he equates the Holy Bible to Monopoly. You know, the most popular version of the game that everyone knows and most people practice. And then he equates the
Judaism.
Judaism to
Yes.
the landlord game.
No, you see, and then you get the Book of Torah.
Yeah, right. And then you get the Book of Torah for that.
Quran, wasn't it? The
And then
Quran?
you get the book. Yeah, you get the Quran for a third version, which is the like modernized business edition or debit
Yeah.
card edition, like Colonel was saying. So, there we go. Tarek says, "I know the history of Monopoly really well. I wonder how close he gets. Watch it and let me know, man."
Yeah.
I have no clue because I was biting that shit hook, line, and sinker, dude. I guess that's correct. I was like, yeah,
I'd never heard of that other game, so
Yeah, I hadn't either.
no, I want it. It looks fun.
Yeah, I want to get a copy of it somewhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, and he compares, and then he says, you know, now give me your Book of Mormon, and he puts that down, and then he pulls out the Bob Ross version of Monopoly, which it's a little bit cheesy. I thought that was hysterical, though.
Hysterical metaphor, man.
Yeah. Now, FaZe, I think, had an issue with that.
I didn't have an issue with it. I thought it would have been funnier if it was like the SpongeBob Monopoly or something. I felt like that would have been a little bit more fitting, just something a little bit more goofy. It's Bob Ross is like, I don't know. That was very funny.
Let's paint a happy little tree. I think it's the picture of Bob Ross that's so fucking funny, man.
That was
Yeah, I think that's
him
what-
smiling.
Yeah, he's just
I think that's what did it for me too. It's a shame his family doesn't get a dime of that shit.
yeah.
Oh yeah, no, of course not. Nothing.
Not now. He probably signed like a one-time, one chunk payment kind of deal.
Mm.
Probably.
Yeah,
If
NIL.
he was that lucky.
Yeah.
Image and likeness.
Yep. All right. Sue, Grandma FaZe says there's a good documentary on the history of Monopoly. I'll check that out because I'm
Done
kind of Yeah, I'm kind of curious about it now. And then he talks about the iterations between the song he's playing. He says, have you ever heard this song before? And they say, no. Well, except for the first time you played it when we came in, because he's played it a couple of times now. And he talks about, I don't believe you. I'm pretty sure you've heard this. Maybe you haven't heard this, but you've heard Creep by Radiohead, which is kind of the same melody, kind of the same, musical structure. And if you haven't heard that, you've heard this Lana Del Rey song. It's all about iterations, And then he goes into this deep area of talking about, there were 12 different gods before Jesus Christ that are basically the same thing.
Born
just
on
with
Christmas Day.
Yeah, with little minor differences. And it was an interesting analogy to kind of basically say, from what I took, that the Holy Bible is a conglomeration of picking and choosing little bits here and there, rolling them all together and like throwing it out.
Well, his major question was also how much of it was taken by man and changed to what he wanted it to be. What the actual, if this is real, how much filter has it been, since it's been handed down and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
If this is all true, then it should be consistent. He goes, and he's not out searching for the one true religion, but this is what he came up with.
He says he didn't start out searching for the one true religion, but after studying so many of them and diving as deep as he did find the one true religion. And that's what he kind of offers to the girls.
What he says.
Right.
Yes.
That's what he kind of offers to the girls about, do you want to know? Let's dig deeper. Colonel, you want to talk about any of that stuff?
Well, yeah. I'm making faces over here, so of course I do. So I did appreciate the analogy with the Monopoly and the iterations and stuff. Very surface level. But like I said, for a movie for the masses, you really don't want to go beyond surface level. I just, we all, growing up, try to find ourselves. We do research. I've always been fascinated by mythologies. So his whole spiel about all that, it's like, yes, I already know. Like, that should be common sense. I mean, just watch a movie called the document Zeitgeist, and you got everything in the first part of the fucking movie. Like, they did not go too deep. I even thought it was funny they mentioned Star Wars, Phantom Menace.
Right.
I was like, oh, someone must have seen Bill Maher's Religulous. Because the very virgin-y guy brings that up in that documentary as well. Like I said, it worked for the movie. I wish they would have went a little deeper. I thought this is all common knowledge if you really looked into it. But it worked for the movie because it was enough to get the girls thinking.
Well, one of the earlier comparisons you remember before in the first room even was about fast food and which was the best.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That was the ground level kind of ramping up to the weirdness. It started there. So, I mean, but I thought that was good too. And that's when he first said, well, yeah, of course, you're going to back the one you think is you like the best, and that's what kind of led him to this, to where we are now.
Like I said, which I appreciated. Like
Yeah.
I just, as good as this movie was, I wish it went a little deeper than surface level. But again, I understand because we all remember Faze's rant about long legs, and I agree with Faze on that one as well. But you can't go too much. You can't go beyond surface level in these movies.
I don't think you can with a lot of audiences,
No, you can't. And like I said, I understand it. I wish there was a little bit more meat on them bones, If I bought those ribs, I would have been pissed.
Well, and keep in mind, we're talking about one of the two topics you don't talk about.
Yes.
Religion and politics.
Right.
And, kudos to A24 and these writers, Scott Beck and Bryan Woods. And kudos to the actors and the crew and the whole team for going even as deep as they did.
Mm-hmm.
Because I still think, this is going to be still semi-offensive to a lot of hardcore Christians in a way. I could be wrong, but I think it is. Even though it just, for lack of a better word, scratches the surface, you know. I think Tarek just said that. So, but I think if they would have gone much deeper, most of an audience would have just zoned out because that's way too much information. And you know, it would have been too long because how much deeper would you have needed to go?
I would have liked to have gone deeper, but I agree with everything you're saying. You can't. If you're going to attract a mass audience, you can't do it. You know, maybe if he would have cited some sources in the dialogue and let people go dig deeper if they wanted to.
That could have worked.
I think if you were going to go any deeper, you'd probably have to have some kind of supernatural element to it to support that. But I don't think he needed it here, man.
I don't think you would have needed that.
Just to
and by the way, Colonel, you know there's going to be some YouTuber out there that breaks down all the religious talking points that he made in this, and then will deliver what you're asking for. Like,
well, I'm sure, but all
notes.
the people that are going to see that video, there's a lot more people that's going to see this movie. Again,
right.
Cite your sources, man. You wrote a paper. I want to see your sources at the end of this shit. That's all.
Well, we're already in the spoiler territory. So they get to a point where he gives them a choice. He tells them they have to leave through the back of the house. They're welcome to leave, but they have to choose which door they go through. Are you going to choose the door with belief written on it, or are you going to choose the door with disbelief? Has he won you over yet, is basically the conversation. Has he made you question what you have always been taught? And one of the things they keep going back to a couple of times is, do you believe this because you believe it, or do you believe it because someone told you to believe it? You know, in effect, is what they say. And it comes down to they have to make a choice of which door to go through. So, who wants to take that part on? Who's up? I can't remember who went.
I went last. I mean, but
like I said, I can give the short version.
Colonel, give us the short version.
All right. So there's one stands at each door. I won't tell you which. But they both decide together on a door, and they go down the door to a dark, dingy basement. They are locked in. They are stuck. Then they're told, here's why you're here. You're going to witness. I have a prophet. You're going to witness proof of a higher being, whatever.
Actual prophet of God.
Yes.
Yeah. Here we go, folks. We're getting into it now. So just so you know.
So he tells them, you're going to see this prophet die and come back to life.
A miracle.
Yes, a miracle. So here comes this leper-looking person
with a pie.
I haven't got there yet, but yes, with pie. We have the blueberry pie, folks. It was teased, but they got it. And this person proceeds to eat the pie. Dead. Boom. I don't know if I want to take it much further than that right now.
It's basically... make sure she's dead. Check the vitals. Make sure she's dead.
Yes, and then
He's communicating to the girls through like a tube of some sort. Like he's in a different room.
Yeah, from another room.
And he has his entire house like on like it's hard to describe. It's
really like a labyrinth.
It's like a small replica of his house on a table with all the hallways and everything. And he has two little statuettes that you can see on the poster art right there, which is covered by the spoiler. That's the two little miniatures that he represents the two girls, and he moves them around depending on where he currently has them trapped. So
he's literally playing a live action game.
Right.
It's It's a game to him.
Well, when he's taking notes upstairs about like
And he's taking notes.
what time they're asking certain questions, what time they're doing certain things down there,
He's
what time,
studying.
yeah, he's basically running an experiment on these two. So, Ziggy, why don't you pick up from there?
Yeah, so they check the vitals and she's gone. And then somebody rings the doorbell and distracts everything, and stops the whole rant. And so he runs off. So they're like, okay, they're running up the stairs so they can look under the door. There's this much of a crack and they can see feet and what's going on. And they're like, all right, we're going to scream our heads off when the door's opened. And of course, he's already thought of that, so he shuts the main door, and it's their church leader, their superior, their
elder.
They're elder.
elders.
Played by Topher Grace, by
I
the
had
way.
no fucking idea that was
Was
him.
that really
dude. I saw
Topher
that
Grace?
he
Yeah.
I didn't even fucking notice.
You won't know it's him. It's so fucking nuts. So he says, hey man, I'm just looking for these two girls, and they're screaming their heads off, can't hear them.
Nope.
So they finally give up, and he convinces the guy, no, they've never been here, never seen them, and so he's kind of looking at him kind of like, well, didn't you request a couple of messengers from the Church of Latter-day Saints? And you're like, yeah, I sure did. He's like, oh, okay then. And he leaves and then comes right back and he's like, I just have to say one more thing to you, sir. Like, you're thinking, oh fuck, he went and found the bikes and everything, and then he whips out a fucking church fucking trailer, one of those pamphlets.
Yep.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
It's one of the best scenes in the movie.
I'd be remiss if I didn't at least give you this.
Yeah.
It's very good. So the girls go back down, defeated. They realize they're not getting out. And the one says, hey, she's moved. The body moved.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, no, it didn't. That's how it was when we left. That's how it was. She's like, no, it wasn't. The head was the other way. No, I'm telling you. And then they figure out there's like a box of matches on a rug at the top of the stairs, and they can get their fingers through. They figure if they could start a fire, make something happen, and hopefully get out. And it's long and drawn out. Like, there's a couple distractions, with the rug getting pulled, and they get the matches. They do get them. They get down there and start trying to light these matches, and it's pitiful. They cannot get these fucking things lit. And every time they get one lit, it goes right out. And then it does one of the best camera shots of the whole fucking movie. It's just like it pans up on her friend, who's supporting, but you can see an out of focus shape behind her, and it's just like, oh shit. It's almost like Insidious.
Yeah.
Like it, or
Yeah. And the camera just slides over just a little bit
and goes into focus.
And then the match lights, and there's
Big reveal.
The dead girl or the dead woman behind her, right behind her.
Resurrected. She came back. The prophet lives. And now you what did she say?
Yep.
She says a bunch of things.
Message.
This is what I saw on the other side when I was over there, But big spoiler alert. She gets to the end of her spiel, and says, it's not real. And then at that point, the dude comes back in. What is that?
Yeah, who's slapping stuff?
Slapping and popping. Oh.
Slapping and popping. He's bebopping and scatting, and I'm losing it.
Sounds like somebody.
Go ahead.
Sound like somebody threw their phone down on the table or something. Anyway, yeah, that was good. Good jump scare. One of the few, really, in the whole movie. But
very few.
But I think the horror or the terror in this movie is just the tension itself, like throughout it, because shit's going downhill, at the very beginning, and it takes a little bit to get there, but once it gets there, it was good.
Yeah, I thought it started going downhill when he's like, "Look, I have an icky question to ask you, girls."
Yeah.
Then it's right there. It's unsettling as shit. Like, it's just boom, That's the jump off point, and it doesn't stop. Like it literally does not fucking stop.
But then he comes in and is like, "Huh, see?" And he helps the prophet away and walks her up, and then comes and helps him light a match. And he's telling him, you just heard what the prophet said, but then he holds the match strangely for a minute between them. And this is where he says, "Oh, one of you has a secret."
Well, not yet. First, he was like, "Tell me everything she said." He's got to know everything she said. Yes.
Yeah. Well, so they go through what the prophet told him, which I will say that it was hard to decipher myself what she said.
Yeah, I couldn't make out none of it other than it's not real. Like that's all I made out.
I think I made out
gibberish.
I think I made out like clouds or something like that at one point.
And
like
light.
the second time.
Yeah.
But, basically it was described as like, bright light, white clouds, the sky. What else? Was that it?
Yeah, we'll say for argument's sake.
Yeah.
She was gurgling and coughing and shit, and then she started anyway.
So he says, "Well, there you go. You've heard what the prophet saw. If you want to see God, I can make that happen. You just have to agree to die first. I can bring you back." So, which I thought was weird, but there is that point where he's holding the match in between them, which comes into play later, because he says the fire. We'll get to that later, but who's going on? FaZe, you got anything to add on from there?
Not really.
I love this story, by the way.
Yeah, really. I was just into it at this point. Like, I'm not sure if I have anything to add. I was just ready to see what's coming.
That's when she said, like, she's like, "I've been wondering. I've been waiting." He's like, "Waiting for what?" He's like, "For you to tell us how you're going to make it our idea for you to kill us."
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That's I was kind of like, "God damn, man, this shit is deep."
Well, and that's one of the things I really liked about these two characters, because Sister Barnes, at least in the beginning, seems like she's the one that's converted 8 or 9 people already, so she's good at this. She's good at talking to people. She comes off as like the strong character of the two.
And
the other one is, and she even says at one point, "Hey, take this," when they're in the other room before they go downstairs, take this weapon that they find,
letter opener,
and put it in your pocket. And when I give you the secret, like the code word, stab him with it. He won't see it coming from you because he's keeping his eye on me. And he has been that whole movie. He's given her those darting eyes all the time.
Well, she's the combative one. She's the one questioning him. Like he has a question, she has a question back.
Right. She's the one challenging him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the back and forth between it. Even though it's very dialogue heavy, I really enjoyed it. So, where do we go from there? Hold on. All right. So Barnes, Sister Barnes, though, she kind of rejects the prophet's description as seeing God or seeing heaven, and just kind of equates it to a similar hallucination she had from a near-death experience years prior. So
why we don't talk about Taco Bell.
Which is why we don't talk about Taco Bell. Which I thought that was funny too.
Yeah.
So, that at that point, that's when the big twist happens, isn't it? When she's challenging him there.
I think
I-
so, because that's not the way I saw it playing out. I was just like, oh shit, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, doesn't she get slashed right
Oh,
there?
whoa, 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 dude.
Right
Dude.
He
there.
already had one.
To be fair, it's
over
already
here.
on the
It's
screen.
okay.
It's,
But this is like the big one, I think.
well,
It is a big one.
Because I'll be honest, I didn't expect this. I thought she was going to be like the final girl, for lack
I
of a
did
better
too.
term.
But this is where I was like, oh, I did not, like I said,
Yeah.
did not see that coming.
They built Sophie Thatcher up, Sister Barnes, to be like the one that was on her toes, keeping an eye out on things. And then as soon as she's about to say the code word to tell Sister Paxton to stab him, because he won't see it coming from her,
right.
just a quick flick. He's got a box cutter
Yeah.
and clips her neck, and she just starts bleeding out like crazy. Drops to the ground. Once she's bled out, and he claims that, don't worry, I'll be able to resurrect her too. But when she bleeds out, he says, this is when he comes back to the thing about, I told you one of you was, hiding something.
Yeah.
And he grabs her arm and cuts her arm open. And I swear to God, the throat cut and the arm cut are pretty much the only reason this movie is R-rated. And
sure.
and
Probably.
props to A24 for keeping it R-rated and not buckling to the system and saying, "Oh, we got to make it PG-13 to get a bigger audience." Props to them for sticking to their guns and keeping it that way.
My brother.
Well, was that the prophet?
That was the prophet. He said, "Happy birthday."
Oh, okay.
No.
But yeah,
but
it
yeah,
was-
he cuts her arm open and pulls out a little metal rod and says it's a microchip. Blah 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 blah.
oh, that's why
but-
she can't be resurrected. She's a simulation.
Yeah.
But go
An
ahead.
NPC.
Yeah,
So-
NPC.
We've entered
look-
the Matrix, folks, pretty much at this point.
Yeah.
According to this
Mormons
guy.
be soaking, dude. So you got to be careful.
Do what now?
Those Mormons be soaking, man. You got to be careful.
Good
Damn,
God.
They do though. Where am I lying?
Anyway, so
I would know.
take it from there, somebody. Ziggy
Phase.
or
Take it.
Phase.
Yeah, I mean, he pulls out he tells her, he's trying to pull this. He's talking about the simulation theory now, basically.
Mhm.
He starts drawing this whole diagram on the table in chalk. And, oh, God, this is where the A and B gets a little muddy, but she discovers a trap door underneath this table. Is this the next thing that happens, or am I skipping something?
Well, we're jumping ahead. We're jumping ahead a little bit because we got to identify the rod he pulls out. It's not a microchip,
Right, because it's not a microchip. It's
it's a contraceptive.
it's a contraceptive.
IUD or whatever. Is that what they call it?
I think.
Like I said, they be soaking, man. You got to be safe.
Would you stop?
We're going to Soak City.
Go ahead, Phase. Shit.
But yeah, she knew what it was right away, and because she even hinted to it earlier, and the other girl remembered. I have a hard time remembering their names, especially since my mom just keeps calling them Daria and Jane. But I digress.
Barnes and Paxton.
Barnes and Paxton. So yeah, Barnes alluded to it earlier, but anyway. So now Paxton kind of remembers, all right, I have to now now that Barnes is gone, I have to kind of play the strong girl role now. And they were talking earlier, we can't physically overtake him, but we could try to overtake him with intelligence. So she just tries to challenge him constantly, just with she starts asking questions, she starts challenging everything. She is just starts. I'm trying to remember everything, but man, there's a lot going on in this film. But
She calls out the simulation. She's like, "You're struggling to keep control. You're losing it."
Yeah.
right,
She starts to turn around now.
She didn't take
and
that
become
for
like,
the simulation thing for a second. She
No.
was like, all right, what the fuck?
I sat there. I had to sit back for a couple minutes, going, what? And then I was like, okay, hold on. I was like, this guy is just, he is saying whatever he's saying, whatever he has to say.
Right.
Like,
I
this
think
shit-
at this point she calls out that, and spoiler alert, that she believes that the women had switched when they went upstairs to scream, and that she was reading a script after having been resurrected, you know.
Right.
So she calls that out and, challenges him on that. And this guy's not really good at being challenged because he does always stumble a little bit. He's like, what makes you think that? What makes you believe that? He's always trying to just,
Yeah, when he was in control, he had a solid question to come back
Right.
with. When he had
He was
nothing,
confident.
he was he was turned into
you
Ned
can see him
Flanders.
trying to think and, always looking to the side, like not really sure what to say. He was really good at acting that out.
yeah.
He's probably not going to get a fucking award for this kind of performance.
Oh
either.
no, it's a horror film.
Right.
It's that fucking good.
And then, that's when he's like, how did I perform this magic trick then? And that's when she discovers the trap door underneath the table.
They were selling it.
Right.
Somehow you switched
The
the
seller.
bodies.
And he essentially dares her, like, you going to go down there and see what's down there?
Because you want to
Right.
meet the one true God, it's down that hatch.
Yep.
The
Basically,
one true religion.
The one true
Did
religion.
you see the one true religion? It is down that hatch. And she
Right
didn't really have a fucking choice. I mean, what else was she going to do? She was locked in that basement anyway. She might as well just go down and see what's down there.
Mm.
And I don't know. Does somebody want to take it from here?
Colonel?
Sure, I'm just focused on Crank for some reason. Yeah, so
He is handsome. He is handsome.
I cut my knee open, so I'm bleeding. I'm trying to keep that from like.
Shit.
Oh.
I'll be honest.
If he starts turning pale, then we'll call
I'm not bleeding. I'm not bleeding badly. Fuck off.
Come forward, dude.
all right,
You
well,
gotta step away. Step away.
take care of yourself. Oh, we got this. So
No, go ahead.
she goes down to to see the one true religion in his opinion. Kind of remind me of the catacombs down there in France. I was like, ooh, okay, that's kind of cool. So she's going through a dark hallway. She finds the door. There's the bike lock on a door. Remembers that Barnes said, hey, like my key's not in my pocket. She reaches in her pocket. Ta-da! There's the key to the bike lock. Opens it up, goes in, and here we go with the true religion. Bunch of women in cages getting misted with water in a freezing room. Here comes Mr. Reed. Mr. Reed. I always thought that was funny too. Down another set of steps that he meets, and he's like, here's, and like a Bond villain, he explains it all. Spoiler, it's already on the screen. The one true religion is control. You did not make a single thought for yourself tonight. I pushed you in every direction for every decision you made. And then here we go. I guess we're going to sum it up from here, right? Because there's really not much left after this.
I'll interject real quick
Yeah.
Interject.
because I guess we got something wrong. It's a Norplant that was in her arm,
Okay.
Okay.
not an IUD that apparently set off a bomb. So just quick correction.
That doesn't really matter to the story right now.
You did a Costanza.
Right.
What do you use for birth control?
I'm sorry we got the form birth
Some people are
control
getting a
wrong.
little.
It'd just be easier for all of us men just to get vasectomies and get it reversed instead. But that's a awkward part of the day. So here we go. So, we get our final chase. This is where she sticks him in the jugular with the letter opener. She goes off running, trying to get out of the house. Of course, he catches up with her. It's a fucking maze. It's a labyrinth, and he knows every in and out. Next thing you know, that box cutter comes back with the blade fully extended, right in the gut.
Shankarino.
Yeah, so they're both literally bleeding out, He tells her to pray. She says, like, I know prayer does nothing. It just makes me feel happy. It just makes people feel better. We know it's whatever. So she starts praying. He crawls on her chest like he's like, for comfort. And at this point, there's a couple parts where I'm like, all right, this got a little silly. Magically, it's a miracle. Braxton?
Barnes.
Barnes. I was way off. I got their names mixed up. Well, Barnes smashes him in the head with a broken board with nail sticking out it. That's called a throwback. We didn't mention it earlier, but we all knew it was going to come into play.
Yeah.
That's true.
So Mr. Reed is dead. Barnes falls down. She passes. Sister Paxton escapes the house through a window. Fade to black and a story.
Well, there's a
Go ahead.
That's very Cliff Notey, but yeah, that's basically it. I mean,
What's wrong? We could be Cliff Notey. We said spoiler, but we don't have to give every single detail.
and part of the
Jump in
banter,
with the points you want to mention. Go ahead.
yes, and part of the bantering when they were walking around at the beginning, spreading the word of God, it comes up that if she ever died and was reincarnated, she would come back as a butterfly, and I would land right on the fingertips, so they knew it was me.
Yep.
And so Sister Paxton's outside, and she kind of collapses in the front, and she holds her hand up, and a butterfly lands in her hand, and she's looking at it and smiles, and then it's gone, and was it there or was it not there, or is she's messed up? You're not sure. They kind of leave it to you.
Yep. That's another thing I kind of liked about this movie. There's a lot of different interpretations, and if you do go back and watch it again, you'll see even more. This is definitely one of those movies that you can see a lot of different deals with this. So I think anyway.
See, but that my one problem with this movie, I think, the level of setup that he went to make this point to, like, you know what I mean, to these girls, and to put these bodies and to switch them out to make the fucking resurrection happen. That's the little bit that I kind of is a little silly to me. That's all. It's a lot. It's a lot to make your point like this.
Psychos are going to go through a lot of stuff to prove their point.
I get it, man, but that is some fucking. That's years of setup for this.
Well, he's still been. I mean, he's been doing this for a while. I would assume.
This is the one he
And
got
you have
caught.
to remember, he scheduled the meeting. So,
Yes.
but I'm with you. I still think it's silly they pulled a Saul switcheroo on us. I was like, really? Like, yeah,
Kind of like
good. Like,
kind of like Alien. It that kind of made me take a point away.
Really?
That was the only thing, though. Other than that, this is a fucking great movie and a great fucking story told masterfully. It looks great. It's tense. It never lets up that fucking tension until you get out. I mean, I fucking got out, dude. I was like, whew.
Yeah. I was happy with this movie pretty much all the way through. I don't know. I really enjoyed it. Any final thoughts? Let's start with final thoughts with Colonel on this movie.
oh, great. Final thoughts. Like I said,
Might as well
overall-
final thought it and score. Might as well.
All right. No, I thought it was a very well written, well acted, entertaining movie. I guess that's supposed to make you think, and they do a pretty good job of that, I guess. The only reason I say I guess is because, like I alluded to earlier, we talk about his mind-shattering facts. Again, I'm a mythology nerd. Like I said, I'm like, this is all common knowledge stuff. But unfortunately, I'm like, okay, he is making some good points, but it's just like, you know how you have those asshole atheists that just have to be assholes, let you know they're atheists? He's pretty much using those talking points. I'm like, okay, he's being a bit of a dick. Like, you know, like I said, if we're talking denominations, I guess I would have to say I'm agnostic because I'm not arrogant enough to believe I know the truth. I don't know. He definitely preached that he knew because he did all this research, But yeah, like I said, they really lost me at the sauce, switcheroo, and then coming back to life just to die again. That normal horror trope, but that wasn't too bad because it had to be used by somebody.
Yeah, it was predictable, but I mean, it still was cool. It was satisfying. She fucking walloped that dude, man.
Oh yeah.
But like I said, it was like you gave me something really good and original. Then you gave me something very unoriginal. It just just rubbed me the wrong way.
They didn't stick the landing. That's all. The rest
No.
of it's awesome.
And like I said, I mean, you had good points from both perspectives. That's why I kind of disagree with Crank a little bit when he said I can see where a lot of Christian, mostly religious people could be pissed off watching this movie. Yes, they could be, but also, like Crank said earlier, there's different point of views. You could walk away from this movie anyway. You can see it as anti-religion, pro-religion. It just works on so many levels. It's, at the end, it's come to your own conclusion, make your own story. Here's the information you're given, figure it out.
Well, I want to go see this movie with a churchy.
Mm-hmm.
Churchy.
Yeah, that's what I call them.
You can call them that.
That's what I call them. Yeah. Like I avoid going to lunch on Sundays because all the churchies are out. I've said that for years.
You know what, my friends?
Is that offensive?
They used to call me church boy back in the day.
Is that offensive? Churchy?
Things to be called.
I don't think so.
I would think not.
I don't know.
But we digress. Let me wrap this up.
I do want to take a churchy to this movie though at some point.
Yeah. So, like I said, it's definitely worth a watch. I'm really not sure where I want to rank this because the score I want to give it I think is too low, but the score I'm going to give it is just I think slightly too high. But Crank likes to keep it pretty even. I'm going to give it an 8, even with the. Like I said, really, I think I should give it a 7.75 because I think it should lose at least a quarter point for the damn Saw switcheroo. But I won't. I'll give it an 8. Go see it. To me, it's not one I would own or probably watch again unless someone asked. Like a believer friend of mine said, "Hey, I heard about this movie. Let's go watch it." That's about the only way I'd go see this again. But it's not saying it's a bad movie. I just feel like movies like this, where the twists, like the Saw movies, they're not worth multiple watches. You already know all the twists and turns.
Yeah, but there's there were a couple of things I picked up a little bit more on the second watch, just acting wise, and because I knew the result, you can read more into it. Mm-hmm. So that's why I say it's worth multiple watches if you get a chance. But no,
fine. That's your opinion. That's my opinion. Yeah. Go fuck yourself.
Fuck you.
That's just like your opinion, man. Is that like the first 2 fucks of the show this late? Wow.
No, you dropped the first 2 fucks within the first 10 minutes, dude.
Did
I?
Yes, you did. That's what I was like.
We're probably okay.
During your
my monologue.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. That's fine.
But we were already past the 10-minute mark.
Mm-hmm.
So
you were safe.
Yeah.
I have like a clock over here. It kind of tells me so.
All right. FaZe, what about you? Give it a final thoughts and score.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree. It did not stick its landing. That third act was definitely wonky.
It's
not
okay.
sure.
It's not horrible third act. It's just
Right.
a little
I'm not quite sure what I would do differently quite yet, like how I would have maybe rewritten it, because the first 2 acts are very solid. I would just change it from there. And my mom made a point too after we were done watching it. Like it could have ended a bit sooner. She would have preferred it to end when I don't even know the character's name, but the main guy, when he landed on Sister
Mr.
Paxton,
Reed.
and Mr. Reed, when he landed on her, basically died on her body. And
that could have been the end right there. You could have had the butterfly.
She was thinking it could have ended there. I didn't really like the butterfly. I thought that was cheesy.
Yeah,
A little bit.
I think the butterfly was needed.
It was a nice callback.
Because it vanishes, man. They're like, ha ha ha.
It vanishes.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's crazy. She's fucked up.
But
She's bleeding out. She's going to hallucinate, man. I imagine.
Yep. She's
when
hurt,
a Wisconsin night says something is cheesy, it's cheesy. All right. But
good point.
That said, I really enjoyed it. I could see your point, Colonel. It kind of seeming like the asshole atheist point of view sort of thing, and that could be part of why I liked it a little bit, because that kind of, if I were 14 and watching this, I would have loved that aspect of it. You know what I mean? When I was on the edgy phase, so I get that. That said, I think we're going to match you on it with an 8 on this one. I'm surprised you're giving it as high of a score because
Yeah,
that's
I am too. I'll be honest. I was coming in tonight's show at a solid 7.
like Act 1 and 2 are probably a 9, but then the third act brings it down to an 8.
Yeah. So, like I said, I still think my score's a little high, but
Yeah.
it's worth an 8. And I don't do that
Damn.
often. Yeah, I don't do it often. I thought it was a very thought-provoking film. That gets it very high remarks for me. And, what do we bitch about all the time? Them writing shit in crayon. Here's what you're supposed to think. This movie doesn't do that. I appreciated that. I like to think. I like to use my intellect and knowledge. Like, it's fun. I'm nerd. I can't help it.
Some of his explanations, though, and comparisons to things, dumbing it down that way was the smartest shit of the movie.
Yeah,
And he made it, you know what I mean? They made it so simple. It was like, but it's the dumbest, most common thing to make his point. That I really, really liked. I really liked that.
I agree that I wanted to dig a little deeper, like Colonel, but I get why.
Yeah. Like I said, you got to sell it to a mainstream audience. I
Right.
understand. That's why I understand long legs and their lazy explanation of Satanism. But
Sure.
I get it.
I could forgive it a little more.
I'm gonna let Ziggy go last, so I'll take the score here. I walked out of this movie the first time enjoying it, but having questions. Like I think I dozed the first time, honestly. I tend to do that a lot, honestly. My theater is really comfortable. I got the heated seats that recline back. I get that heat on my back. It's just like, especially if I've eaten, I'm gonna doze off for like 5 minutes. But walking out of it the second time, I really, really enjoyed it. And if somebody wants to go with me later this week, I'll go see it a third time.
Any of you churchies out there in the Oklahoma area?
Yeah. Any churchies want to join me?
Gonna Google if that's offensive.
By the way, Tarek says, you guys are great. Is churchies offensive? Anyway, this one's for those atheist assholes.
We all know an atheist asshole that is edgy and like, it's unnecessary. Let people believe what they believe. Fuck, I mean, that's all. Life's too short, man. Be a dick. Fuck it, whatever.
But, and as we've talked about before as well, I really enjoy religious horror. And this was a religious horror that, didn't necessarily deal with popes and exorcists and demons.
Yeah.
And, it was different in that respect. All three of the main actors were just fucking incredible. Hugh Grant was great. And they could have done something with Hugh Grant where he's all nice and calm and charming at the beginning, but then turns into a psychopath at the end. But I'm glad they didn't. He was still charming up until the very fucking end.
Oh, they were down there still. They were still trying to light the matches, and he's helping the old lady out. He's smiling at him like, "Yeah, be right back."
Yeah, and he comes. The match for him. Yeah, he lights the match for him. So, and the two girls that have to play, this escalation of, wonder and fear and desperation and like every scene. Yeah, panic. Every scene they're in is just slightly elevated from the last, and the way they were able to handle that was very good. The set design was incredible, I thought. I love that it looks like a house, it looks like a small chapel, and then it looks like a fucking dungeon.
Mm-hmm. I want to jump in real quick because I know we didn't mention it. The detail I really liked, they didn't try to hide it at all. It was mentioned quite a few times. I really love the timer on the lights.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
That was such a good thing for the tension, too. Just the first time. Pow! Okay. So now you're waiting for those lights just to cut. Boom. Like, so simple, but so great at the same time. Sorry, I just had to mention that because I know.
No.
It's a great detail.
Yeah, it is. Man, I hate to mirror, these other two that have already gone, but I'm going to go with an 8 as well. So I don't know if this is going to be. I don't think this will be in my top 5, but it'll probably be in my top 10.
Mhm.
We've only got like a 6
Handful
weeks to figure that out.
Yeah, I know. God, I got so many movies I got to fuck up.
I'm up to like 64 or something for the year.
I think I'm only at like 30.
Yeah, I'm in the 30s now.
Ziggy, do
Yeah.
you concur, or are you going to go lower or higher on the next Joker's Wild?
Yeah, you guys can't bully me, peer pressure me. No, this is a great fucking movie, man. This is one of the better entries for 2024 for sure. It's a goddamn shame that this is gonna get skipped for everything. No awards, nothing. I'm sure the Chainsaw Awards will get a hold of it and get him something because
I was going to say it'd be nice if there was some kind of horror award show that would actually recognize these kind of performances.
It may be time. I enjoyed it. I say that third act with this elaborate switching of bodies to pull off this prophet coming back to life. It was a little bit much for me. That's it though. It's my only nudge of this whole movie, and it doesn't like take you out of the story. You know what I'm saying? Because it comes and goes, and it jumps right to the fucking climax from there. So it's not that bad of a distraction. Having said that, man, this is a great fucking movie. It's a great watch. You should see it. It's cool to see at home from your couch, or a theater. It doesn't matter. Turn the lights off and enjoy. I'm not going to go with the guys, though, man. I can't give it an 8. I'm going to go 7.5.
Okay.
All
I
right.
don't respect that, but okay. I'm just fucking with you.
It was 8.5 until that little bit of snafu at the end there.
Oh, bullshit.
That's
The
all.
full point for the Saw switcheroo.
Yeah. Well, just the whole, it's a lot for me to.
Dude, how many Saw movies have you seen?
I understand this. And this is the same as like Predator and like having to have a semi truck where the ammo for the scene that they're shooting. It's that kind of shit. You know what I mean? The setup is unbelievable for this kind of to pull this off. But having said that, it's still a great fucking story. But hey, we all have our demons. There's none in this movie. Mine is 7.5 for it.
Sorry.
Yeah.
It's a
All
good
right.
one. It's a good one. It's gonna make my top 10.
Damn. Really?
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Huh. All right. Cool. Well, there you go, guys. Highly recommend Heretic in theaters now. Tell them Death Curse Society sent you. Woo. 3 8s and a 7.5. That's
Pretty good.
we haven't agreed like that in a while.
Somewhat recently, we saw something we all liked.
There was something recently that we agreed a
Smile
lot
2?
on.
No, it wasn't Smile 2.
Maybe Romulus?
Mm.
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't remember being like a huge fan of Romulus.
That's fair. Or maybe Maxine. It's one of those. I'm not sure.
I can't remember.
I may have scored that one a little low, though. I don't know.
I can't remember.
Yeah, I want to rewatch Maxine again since it's on Max.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it is.
It didn't hold up as strongly the second time around.
I believe it.
Oh, that's disappointing because I was hoping to get better.
I do too.
I'm
Is that
trying
what-
to cram in as many 2024s as I can in the last like 6 weeks, though. So minus the weeks that we have to prep for.
Shudder just sent us something too. Check your mail. I didn't read what the title was, but
I saw it.
yeah.
No.
That could be a good one to watch. Probably can't talk about it though. Sorry.
Let us know if you guys saw it. Let us know your rankings in the comments as well.
Yeah.
I haven't
Did
seen.
anybody see it besides?
I know there's at least 2 viewers that's seen it.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Adam yet. Tonight.
Oh, he loved it. He reached
But
out.
he loved it. Yeah.
Yeah, he hit me directly and went, dude, you got to go see this.
Well, I thought he'd say something in the comments tonight.
Yeah.
So I don't know if he's watching.
I mean, but he was. I go, yeah, we bumped it for Voyager last week.
Mhm.
Voyager 3. But it was worth it. It's a good movie, man. This is no Night Swim or anything like that. Or
No
The Crow.
Imaginary.
Yeah,
one of the Blumhouse
Imaginary,
movies that we
Better Than
reviewed
That.
this year. Get them on this list.
I think I finally got rid of In a Violent Nature off my list too with this movie.
Better than The Crow.
The Crow is dead last for me.
Not for me.
Wow.
You gotta remember, he's doubled. He has twice
I-
as many movies this year.
I-
as we.
I saw Festival. I saw Festival of the Living Dead.
Oof.
That's my dead last. Holy shit, that's awful. All right. Anything else we want to talk about before we wrap it up?
This is a cue that we're supposed to have something else to talk about.
No, I'm just Did you
Something
watch
happened to
any?
me.
Did you watch any other horror movies this week that you want to throw out? Or
Dude, I'm so far behind on horror. Oh yeah, I'll throw out a horror movie I watched this week. I actually watched it last night. It was so bad I had to turn it off.
Terrifier
Bengals
3?
game.
Oh,
What?
That's all. The
Gerald's
Bengals game. I turned that shit off at halftime. Went to bed. I was like, "Fuck this."
Fuck the Bengals game.
you missed a hell of a almost comeback.
I saw
Yeah.
the highlights this morning on the news. I was like, I'm still glad I didn't stay up for it because I would have been pissed that they still lost. But
Yeah.
Right.
that's all. That's my terrible joke.
I'm not going to talk shit on the Bengals, man, because you know what I mean. It could have just as easily been. I've been there.
Yep.
But
Yeah.
I refuse.
I don't want to go too in depth. DCS Sports, no more. I just saying it's a horror movie.
I refuse to believe that their season is over. That's all we got to say.
You have not seen this defense play.
That's what they
This
need
is all
some help.
based on offensive stats. We got MVP in the NFL for quarterback right now.
They
And
need
the
some help, dude.
number one receiver, and the league leader in sacks. 3
I'll
players.
allow
are in
all
one
you
game.
guys and everybody watching right now, get on board. Lions, train, departing. You're welcome. Join us. This is it. We've been waiting 57 years for this. This is it. Come all. Come
If-
one, come all.
If you can get past the Bills or the Chiefs, one of the two.
Bring it. We got the Bills
Bring it
here.
on.
We're gonna smack the shit out of them. And then if Kansas City somehow limps their wimp ass to the Super Bowl again, it's over. man.
You mean for the third time?
Yes, they ain't gonna
Okay.
get the 3-peat, baby. It's
Oh.
over.
Oh,
It's
okay.
all
Okay,
over.
says it
Your
right.
destiny awaits.
Fair enough.
It's gonna be very disappointing.
You said something happened to you this week.
Yeah, it's minor. Here, I'll go get it.
Oh, okay. Well, while he's getting that,
I'll actually
watched-
mention real quick. Or
Oh.
what,
go ahead.
Remember back we played Curse Your Luck in June, I think it was beginning of June. That was
Something
last time we played on the show.
Yeah.
And in May, 2 weeks before that, I ordered some things from NECA.
Oh, did you finally get them?
Well, that's the thing. I never got any tracking or anything. Basically, it was 2 turkeys, plush turkeys from the movie Thanksgiving. Remember the mascot who gets his head cut off?
And the
That
head
was-
comes off on the stuffed
Yeah.
animal too.
Right. It was, so after we played the game, nothing happened. It went 2 weeks. I still got nothing. So I just went and ordered another one. And it came in 5 days. It showed right up instantly. So I shipped it out to the winner and we were done. But now I'm still out 2 of these fucking things. I got one, shows up, but it's one. Where's the second one? I go, hey, we're halfway there, guys. Sorry. Well, lo and behold, this week, number 2 has arrived. I finally
From June,
May 15th.
May.
wow.
May
All right.
15th. So
Did you mention that?
I'm a straight guy here. Yeah, I could print the trail of emails. It's quite hilarious because they're all like, yeah, hang on. And every mail says it's being prepped for shipping, like for the whole time, all of them. And I'm like going, and then it says, okay, we're upgrading our shipping facility. It's going to be a minute, and then we'll let you know. And I'm all like, well, can I just cancel it? I don't need them anymore. I mean, fuck this shit. This is like 50 bucks to get these things shipped, So I don't know. So they'll probably be part of prize packs in the future here, future DCS events. But yeah, that was the fun I had this week.
Fair enough. All right, FaZe, what were you going to mention?
I was going to mention my internet went out on Thursday, so I popped in the Warriors and giggled a few times, thinking about who was it that said it? Was it Alex?
Robert. It was Robert. Staley, yeah.
Come out to play.
Yeah, man, that part especially. I'm just like, God damn, like he's not wrong in a few parts, but I still love that movie so fucking much, man. I love popping in that DVD anytime.
Man,
that's hysterical. I have to watch that again now just to see it from that perspective.
On behalf of all Warriors fans, Robert,
Fuck you.
All right, FaZe, send them out.
All right, well, thank you guys for watching. That was a very fun review. Surprisingly good movie, and yeah, just keep it short this time, I guess. Have a great night, everybody.
All right. Colonel.
Well, thanks for joining us. Talking Heretic was a lot of fun. Again, all means, go see it if you have not. It is definitely worth the view. My call off tonight is specifically for our Mormon brothers and sisters that may be watching. Ladies, if you're going to soak, make you soak up that vagina with Summer's Eve.
God damn it.
Not smell like a scuba Steve. And gentlemen, if you're going to soak, make sure you wash that dick so you don't get sick.
No.
We are supposed to compare.
No.
The one time where this could have come in handy.
Actually,
God damn it.
I was hoping
Thanks.
we'd go back to that somehow.
Thank you, Colonel.
You're welcome.
I'll save the final thing for our birthday boy. And let's say one last time, thanks to our members, our final girls and guys, Christy, C-Phase, Lorena, BD, who's in the room. What's up, BD? Alex and Robert, our Crazy Ralphs, Bell's Fancy Creations, Dr. Smiley, Raymond, and the whole damn enchilada pod. And, of course, our camp counselors, Adam, Corey, Christy, Luke, Jimmy and Rachel, Stacy, Lynn, Orlando, Chuck Schick, Dave, Patricia, Kristen, and JJ. If you want to become a member and support the DCS, check us out at deathcursesociety.com. And you know the rest. Thanks also to our associate producer, FaZe. And next week, ladies and gentlemen, in honor of Thanksgiving, we will be doing our top 5 food-related horror films. So, this might be a little bit of a weird subject because I would not consider Texas Chainsaw Massacre on this list. Okay.
They're cannibals.
They're cannibals.
What about Cannibal Holocaust?
I don't know. I haven't seen that in years. I'd have to see that again.
See, I don't even know if I'd put that on the list.
Because, well, and here's my theory about Texas Chainsaw, because there's not enough food-related stuff in it. You know what I mean?
Right, they're just making people into food. Like that's just it's more just gross.
It's more of a side plot than anything. It's not a major plot.
All right.
All right.
But that's just me. If you decide it, then that's you.
Lorena has a good question.
Does she?
Yeah.
God damn it!
Yes, it should be the very foundation of every food pyramid.
Oh my God.
It's dessert.
You're awful.
Delicious.
All right. Anyway.
Tastes like it smells. Delicious.
Smell my ass.
While you're eating the sniz, you normally can.
That's right.
Damn.
Well, you hope you can't.
Yeah. No. That's when you get a pre-sniff and if you smell it, you come right back up. Like, oh. Don't commit fully until you get a good whiff.
Anyway, why did this take this turn? Top 5 food-related horror films next week. Make your list and join us. Ziggy, send us out for God's sake. Fuck.
Thanks, everybody. We love you. Get your food on next week.
Sorry, I had to.
Save that for the end there. But that's cool. Yes, Thanksgiving next week. Food. It'll be great. It'll be fun. Can't wait. I don't know. I got a couple of good ones just came to mind of the food ones. There's a couple of real good ones out there.
All right.
Well, all right then. That's all I got.
All
Thanks for the birthday wishes, man. I appreciate every single fucking one of yous.
That's right.
Yep.
Happy birthday, Ziggy.
Thanks,
Happy
man.
birthday.
And it looks
brother.
looks like Joshua's next week. Is that what I just saw?
Next week is birthday.
Joshua says, awesome. My birthday's next Monday. Can't wait. Happy birthday, man.
Yeah, he's going to be all strung out from Days of the Dead. Come in and dry out with us, man.
That's right. All right. Thanks all for watching. We will catch you next week. DCS out for Ziggy, the Colonel, and FaZe. I'm Red Crank. Woo!
Rock and roll!
Just in the middle of a dream. I was kissing Valentino by a crystal blue Italian stream. But I can't be late, 'cause then I guess I just won't get paid. These are the days when you wish your bed was already made. It's just another manic Monday. It was Sunday, 'cause that's my fun day. Why I don't have to run day. It's just another manic Monday. I wish it was Sunday, 'cause that's my fun day. It's just another manic Monday.
Ah!